It's train time, starting right now after this short intro.
In compliance with COPA, this video is not for children under the age of 14. Viewer discretion is advised. Sponsored by Canadian Model Railroad.ca and by donations from patrons like you. Further support provided by miniprints.ca. Make your layout come alive with the 3D creation of miniprints.ca. Now on with the show with your hosts, Peter and Joe.
Well, welcome to It's Train Time, episode number 7. Sorry, we are a little late this month. Life happened. So, what will be presenting this month, Peter?
Well, to start off, we have a continuation of the ALCO segment.
Oh, the part 2.
Part 2. This one, now that we've got our power back, we have the HO train of Tony's that he's put together. Just some special notes on that one we'll talk about before the video. We also have Bernard Hellen. We have a video that he sent in to us for mini prints.
Yeah. And then we got the photo of the month, a view from above, and we also got a very, very short video that is Jiro Yerriman that installed a ESU Locksound on a G-scale steam locomotives. So he showed us how it worked out.
Right.
And then
we have a couple of short videos from my brother out in St. Albert, Alberta, on his 7.5-inch gauge live steam. So, and a couple of photos, I believe. So that will kind of wind up the show with.
It's probably a little shorter than usual, but. I think what is there, the content is pretty nice and so on. And I have to thank all the viewer because episode number 6 being the most successful episode we ever had with 1,295 viewer.
Yes, so thanks to everybody out there in podcast land.
Yeah, that was a pleasant surprise.
We really appreciate all those viewers watching, and we hope that we can carry on and produce a reasonably good show.
Well, that's our hope, and we definitely try to follow the suggestion of the viewer. So that's why we appreciate your comment. Post them below, and don't be shy to subscribe and click the bell so that you're being aware of our next show.
And just as a side note, I wanted to mention that with COVID-19, I don't know how our viewers are handling it. For me, it's basically a continuation of retirement. However, I did go online and did some purchasing, not only for my N-scale home layout, but my T-shirt that I have on today it says, "I'm a simple grandpa. I love my grandkids and model railroads." So this was one of my online purchases.
That is good to have. I did some purchase myself, but no T-shirt.
No T-shirt. No, I bought some railroad stuff too. So, I guess we can go back to the beginning and start with Tony Zerba's HO ALCO train. And I hope that Mike Altman is watching, because this will finish off the ALCO segment.
It all start with Mike.
And just a note as you watch the video, a couple of things. Two of Tony's locomotives have numbers from the previous real life 4502, which was a photo of both the old and new color schemes. So the first two locomotives on Tony's are out of the paint shop.
Yeah, with the multi-mark.
Yes, with the multi-mark. And the other locomotive to kind of look for is he has 4563, I believe is the number.
Yeah, and 4565. Those were repainted before the head end.
Yeah.
And so they definitely a little bit more dirty because they are in the middle of the consist.
And 4563 is the one that ended up at Expo Rail.
That's right, in Delson. The consists that Tony put together, Peter, is the exact consist that he was working on. Mm-hmm. Though that you will notice when we put the video together that the first three cars are bathtub cars, and towards the end of his work in there, that's only what they were using.
They started using the bathtub one.
They had two locomotives on the head end, 40 of those, and then they had at that time they had took out the robot car, which is on the video. Then the two middle unit and 40 other new bathtub in a caboose.
Yep.
But he did run with the old hoppers,
yes.
You know, and that was the same principle. The hoppers in there, it was 40 of them, mm-hmm. Then the middle end with the robot car, another 40, and then the caboose. So the train that you will see on that video is actually the train that Tony has worked on, mm-hmm. Being reproduced on an HO scale.
Yes.
All his engine in there are Bowser on a Stewart frame, and the sounds has been modified on all four locomotives. So the lash by itself has a very beautiful sound.
Yes.
When you put these ALCO together. So,
and the three scenes that you'll be seeing, the first scene is Cassette Gorge on our CMR layout. The second scene is Steel River.
Yeah, going through Steel
and
River.
And then the final scene is it coming into...
So I hope you enjoyed that little segment and the train that he put together. It's filmed on our layout upstairs at the CMR, so enjoy. Well, folks, we have today a beautiful presentations for you, and it's very special to us because that's one of our sponsor also. We will be talking about 3D print, and we have, like he said on his video for the NMRA, when he show us how he was painting his figures, he had some special orders, Bernard Hellen, with the mini print. In here, in my hands, what I do have is
The special order.
a special orders that is a Lund 16 feet Alaskan that we ask him to represent, because it will be in the special project called Aiken Lakes, and we needed quite a few of those. And then I had mentioned also that I wanted a bathtub to go on one of my scene in there, and he sent the bathtub. Now on the front in here, I do have the beavers that he sent. They're probably too small to be seen right now, and I got the bears that he sent, two of them there. The motor that goes with the motors, I don't know if you can see that, it's in my hands right now, that he sent for the boats here. We got a wolf, and we have a little order that we had of fishes
For fish.
that goes. Those fish, not only they go for the Aikens Lakes, but they also go for a very special scene in the Fraser River in the layout. We also have the eagles. Those eagles, when you paint them and so on, they are so realistic that I never seen 3D printed animals that are so beautiful. You know, you see us bringing that in the start of the show, the eagle, the wolf, and so on. I also have in there the vulture, which we need pile of them for the project. I got the hound and I got the skunk in there. So we all wonder, how can you achieve such beautiful work on 3D printing? Well, I hope you enjoyed the segment that will be following, because Bernard Hellen show us how he does make them.
Yes.
Enjoy.
Hi, Peter and Joe. Welcome. It's Bernard from Mini Prints. Thank you for the opportunity to share with the viewers of It's Train Time a little bit about what we do here. Today, I'd like to take you on a journey. I'd like to show you how we create the mini print from the design on the computer right out to printing it on the 3D printer. So come on along. Let me take you on a bit of a journey and show you how we do it. So for today, looking at the Facebook messenger chat, I see that Andrew is still hoping for an N-scale moose. That's pretty cool. So we'll be working on that today. And the goal is going to be to take this HO scale moose and to work on it on the computer and then take it down to the printer, and we'll see what happens. So I'm in a program called Chitubox, and I use this program for a couple things, resizing 3D models, and also it's the slicer that you need to use to properly prepare the models for printing. So the first thing I'm going to do, I've opened up the HO scale moose, and in this file I'm going to save it then as my working file for the N scale moose, and save it as a Chitubox file. Then the next thing to do is to take the HO scale and resize it. N scale is 54.4%. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the supports, more on that in a minute, and we're going to resize the moose to N scale. And once that's done, then I'm going to do that for both of the files and save it. So we take our N-scale moose into a program called Prusa Slicer, and we add supports. The supports are going to be critical for the printing stage. Bring the supported STL back into G2 box, and we are off to print. This is the ELCO Mars. The ELCO Mars is a resin printer. Resin printer uses a standard photopolymer resin, liquid, and what it does is in a vat of liquid, it shines up a UV light underneath and it cures that photosensitive resin layer by layer. So what's happening here is that layers of light are being exposed and the print is coming out of this liquid layer by layer. For these N-scale mousse, the print time is about an hour and a half, and soon you'll see it will emerge from the resin, and we'll take a look at what we got. Okay, so now the moment of truth. Let's see what we got here. So I'm removing the build plate. We're going to see the 3D print. Looks pretty good. Take a look at what we got here. Looks like we had some successful 3D prints of our N-scale mousse. They look fantastic, really amazing. They work beautifully. So the next step is, you'll remember we added in all of these supports. Unfortunately, now we have to go and with extreme magnification and tremendous care, remove all of the support material from the 3D resin prints. Once that's done, the final step is to take the partially cured resin material, put it in a UV chamber for a few minutes to fully cure and finish the print. And then we're done. Well, that concludes our journey today, Joe and Peter. I hope you enjoyed the sneak peek at mini prints from computer to print, and looks like I'll be in touch with Andrew tomorrow and send him his N-scale mousse. If anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out to me through the channel, and thanks again.
And now, folks, it's time for
Photos of the month.
the photo of the month. Thank you for your submission.
Yes, and
And
keep sending them in. We appreciate all the different photos that we get. There's layouts and projects that people are working on, so we really appreciate you sending them in, and we'll continue to add them to our segment of Photos of the Month.
matter of fact, right now, the photo of the month are booked right up till September. And because we just have the time to put so many of them. But remember that to post your photo on the Canadian Model Railroad Facebook page, when you see the headers that is presently rolling, you're at the right place. I also have to thank a very special contributor in there, which is Lauren Straffords, that send us some beautiful photography of trains. Those are real trains, they're not models, but the photography from his rail fanning is just marvelous.
Yes.
Manuel Macados, David Muse, and many others have participated and sent their photo, and some have sent videos. So keep doing so, guys. The more material we got, it's fine. We may not publish them in the immediate month, that you send them,
But they will come. They will.
Oh yeah, they are on file.
And the other thing, if you are sending videos, please send us the raw video. If it's been published on YouTube, we can't use it.
No.
We run into copyright issues.
Well-
So send us the raw video.
And then we can edit it and put it into or edit boards and process it properly.
Yep.
So if it's been published already in Facebook or on YouTube's and so on, it kind of take the surprise away from the show. Remember to put your comments and especially put your remarks on there, positive or negative, it doesn't matter, because all critiques are good. And with the negative one, we try very hard to turn them to a positive one, and so far negative one have been very, very rare.
So, on with the show.
On with the show.
Photos of the month.
Yep.
Enjoy.
And on this segment, please enjoy a view from above. That was the courtesy of two of our viewers. Have a good time.
Yes. hope you enjoyed that little view from above. And now the next segment we have is a G scale with sound.
Yeah, Jiro Yeriman, which is one of the members of the Canadian Model Group on Facebook, has posted on the page a few locomotives that you will see over the months that he has put a ESU Locksound decoder on the G scale.
Okay.
And we start with the steam one. Is no talking really on the video, but it shows you all the process of the starting and the shutting down and so on of that locomotives, which he did a fantastic job. G scale is referred on the hobby most of the time as a garden railroad. I don't know if Jiro Yeriman has a garden railroad, but he sure have some pretty nice locomotives, and the sound on each one of them is very realistic.
Yes.
So have a look at it.
Enjoy,
and let us know what you think about it.
All aboard, track 15.
Segment, which is a very short segment, I will let Peter tell you about that surprise that we got.
Okay, we were expecting a video of my brother's 7.5-inch gauge layout that he has around his yard in St. Albert, but we had some technical difficulties. However, we do have short videos of his locomotive running out at his friend Rick Moses's acreage out in Onaway, Alberta. A couple of notes. This is 7.5-inch gauge, like I said. The scale is 1.5 inches to the foot. His locomotive number 911 came about. It took him 9 years to build the locomotive and 11 years to get it operational. So that's how he came up with the 911, and it actually turned out to be a real number on one of the locomotives. It's a CNR Morris Mogul, Class E10 is what it's modeled after. And out at Rick's, there's a group of them that get together and work on Rick's layout. And there's also a couple of photos we have of them putting in a new level crossing across Rick's driveway.
That's the second one, I guess.
That's the second level crossing because they're adding a loop that goes through some bush at Rick's. And the other note that I wanted to make is Rick and Ivan and his buddies out there are also involved with Iron Horse Park in Airdrie, Alberta. So if you're ever out that way, there's a few spots to kind of check out Iron Horse, and I'm sure if you gave my brother a call, he would gladly show you Rick and his layout. So
That iron horse. Well, excuse the French accent here, but that is the place where they got the land.
Yeah, it was.
That was a funny transaction, if I remember.
It was. No, I have to kind of remember. It was kind of swampland that nobody wanted. So they were able to obtain it from the city, I believe, and I stand corrected on that. But so they started Iron Horse Park and building this layout, and as they progressed over the years, all around it has sprung up apartment blocks completely surrounding Iron Horse Park. So
and now everybody did like to have that piece of land.
yeah, now it's probably worth a few dollars if they ever decide to sell it, but I don't think they will because they've got quite the setup out there.
Well, I believe we saw some pictures of that place at one time when Ivan visited us here.
Yep.
And the place, when we refer to it as a layout, you have to understand that scale is outside, and you got a good run when you go for a run in there. And it's some of the train are activated by fuel, and some others are with coal, and some others are with wood, all in miniatures.
Yes.
But they are beautiful trains to look at, and a lot of time that side of the model railroading is kind of forgotten.
Yes, and unfortunately with COVID, it's from what my brother was saying, Iron Horse, they're not even running this year because of the COVID and social distancing. Is just too much work disinfecting all the cars after each run and stuff. So
it's like that all around, and it's unfortunate. It's certainly not good for guys like Peter and I, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that clip, eh?
Yes.
I got leak in the packing here. See, these cylinder cocks are closed off on this side, but the ones on the other are not, so.
Well, I sure hope you enjoyed that, because I sure did.
Yes. So I'd like to send out another thank you to Tony, our team member here at CMR. We were able to run his train on HO thanks to his command control unit. Because
we're waiting right now, Peter. We're waiting right now to get the new system in.
We had a real kind of freaky electrical accident here, and we mentioned that we had a power outage in the last episode. But I think we'll try and relate to you out there so that this doesn't happen to you. It was a very freak accident. We had short between our yard and main line that we were trying to resolve, and so we were powering separate blocks to find out where the short was. And I was fortunate to be under the layout with a trouble light, and we were using a jumper cable type of setup to power up the different blocks. And the trouble light that was plugged into the wall socket, the plug came out enough that the jumper wire got in between the plug and the wall socket and arced against our command control unit. So we fried command control.
Well, what happened? The whole system was totally powered down. Yeah, nothing. The command control and all the boosters and so on, everything was off at the time because you were tightening in that extension so we can use the jumper.
Right.
And that wires kind of went around you and go and locate himself in between the trouble light prongs and the plugs. And we saw a big white flash. And what happened, we thought at the time that only the circuit breakers of the layout for a line had been blown up, but it turned out that all the circuit breaker got blown out, the command control got blown out, all the booster got blown out, one handheld got blown out,
two decoders on locomotives,
decoders on locomotive, on the test locomotives, and also a UP5, a UR92, and a piece of loconut cable got fried all at once.
So now we've had to order replacement units.
Yep. So because the layout was controlled with Digitrax and everything is installed in there, we choose to cap with Digitrax. So now we got command control coming in, and the boosters and all duplex from Digitrax. Definitely now is the new technology in comparison of the one that were there. The one who were there were the DCS 200 and the DCS 100 and so on. So now that being replaced with a better technology, and
temporarily we're using Tony's
DCS 200
to power our layout. So thanks to Tony. So
yeah, we got to go one specific zone at the time, one district at the time with that, but we were able, doing that, to be able to do the video of his train, for the ALCOs.
So for the viewers out there, when you're doing any kind of electrical on your layouts, be very careful. You can end up with a very freakish accident. And of course now, because I was the one that had the jumper cable, these guys have nicknamed me Sparky. So
well, I didn't. The track crew name you Sparky because
Tony and Murray.
I don't think it should be you should be nicknamed Sparky, because it could have happened to any one of us up there.
And that's why we want to let you know out there what happened here. So be very careful with.
But at the same time, having to wait 5 to 6 weeks to get the new system in, so that we can keep going on with the model railroad upstairs. We have achieved some other thing. I went into, I will not say eBay, but directly on the web page of Interaction Enterprise. And that is a type of a kit I was not familiar with, Peter. And I had seen Nate working with that type of a kit from Interaction Enterprise. So because we're putting together a scene at the Still River, when you see the train of Tony going through Still Rivers, on the bridge, you will see the trees, but you don't see that project that we're working on right now. And it's behind the trees, and it's a campground named Joanne Camping. It's on a on the provincial parks, and the action is taking there. So the two kits that I had from there, from Interactions, were camping trailers.
Camper trailers, yeah.
And to build them and so on. I found that those kits, I didn't find them satisfactory to build, personally. I find them that the instruction that they had, they were poor. The material in there is very, very fragile. They don't tell you what kind of a glue you should use in there. You have to take a guess, because it's not the regular material. You will have wood or you will have styrene. That is in neither of them. It's in between. And you have to take some pieces and put them together, back to back, and so on and so on. So technically, their details that they want to portray on those kits are nice, but the constructions of those trailers is not explained properly.
Yeah.
But regardless,
But you did a very, very good job. I mean, they look exceptional. So.
well, is one of them that is not quite finished.
Well, the one has an interior, and the other one is a smaller trailer that's on site right now.
Right. Matter of fact, you will see a picture of it that we will put on as we talk about that, of the first small trailers that been done. And the second one, well, I still have some work to do on it. And then definitely is some other work that's got to be done for the camping,
Yes.
because that's an area that we have still a lot of work to do. Even at the Cossette Gorge, we have lots of work to do. And as the problem with the electrical came in, the backdrop that was in the yards, we remove, because we'll replace it with a better backdrop in there, where we'll have a lot of, call it paper tools. It's the same techniques as the paper tool, but it's to create a three-dimensional backdrop, of the city of Montreal, beside that yards,
Yep.
and the mountains still have to be there. So the one who are familiar with the yards that we got at the CMR layout upstairs know what we're talking about. Matter of fact, the trains, when you come into the yards, it's coming into that yards. That yard is 36 feet long from start to end, and it's got the classifications on it, and he's also got the MOW shop in there. He's got a steam shop in there. He's got the locomotive service, and he's got the car shop and the spray booth in there. So that yard is a very busy yard as far as modeling is concerned. And pretty soon we will have 67 lamp posts that will be in there to light up the yards, because all the building in there are light up.
It's a big work in progress.
Yes, it is. I also have to give a shout out to Precision Design company from Altona, Manitoba. The owner is named Williams, and he has produced for us, I hope you can see that, all the decals
For the Lund fishing boat.
for the actual boat.
Yes.
So
Very nice work.
very, very nice works. Thank you, Williams. It was so fast for him to make those decals and send them to us. It took my breath away. So if you got a chance and you need some decals, feel free to go and see William and his website at Precision Design Company .com, I believe, and or you can go on Facebook, because he is also on Facebook. So if you go on the Facebook page and you're looking for Precision Design, it will bring you to his page, and you can go from there.
So that brings us to the end of another show. Our floor manager is telling us that it's close to the end of the show.
Yeah, we have been advised that it was it for today. So I hope you enjoyed the show. We enjoy doing it for you folks.
Yes.
We are model railroaders that doing stuff for model railroaders.
Yes.
Comments, click the bell, subscribe. We'll see you on the next episode, episode number 8.
And enjoy.